This is the Atomstack P7. Let's talk about why it's cheaper than the competition and has more cutting power than similar lasers on the market. Now I'm going to kind of compare this to other laser engravers in my shop, the X-Tool D1 and the ComGrow Z1 laser machines. Now this P7 does come in at about 200 millimeter by 200 millimeter work area, but it's extremely portable. Like if you want to do a trade show or something like that, or if you just didn't have a space for a full-size machine. Coming in at only $230 at the time of recording, it is quite a bit less expensive for this P7 with the M40 laser module versus those other ones that do run about $600 for that larger size machine with the same laser output on those other machines. Now this one really only took me about 10 minutes to unbox it, assemble the machine, and then have it set up in my laser software. Now this design does use a mostly aluminum frame with some steel supports over here to kind of give it a little bit of counterweight as well by having that more rigid and heavier weight steel side members here. As far as the mechanics of this machine, it runs off of these two stepper motors, one over here for the y-axis and another one down on this side for the x-axis. The z-axis on this laser machine is actually manual, so you have to loosen this knob to lift it up and down. Now Atomstack went ahead and included this stainless steel plate. I'm not sure whether you can see that on the video there, but they went ahead and included this stainless steel plate so that when you do through cuts, you don't cut into your work surface down below. Now, it does protect it from that, but a honeycomb really does allow airflow down below and allows a cleaner burn without really charring the backside compared to this stainless steel plate. Now, so they did include it, but if you're really going to be cutting that much, I do suggest getting a honeycomb set up for this. Now you might notice that I'm not wearing any safety glasses in this video. I have to be at a nice angle where none of the laser light is coming into my eyes, but this particular laser module sits so close to the surface that it really is difficult to be at an angle to see the laser beam inside there and to give it that reflection to bounce back into your eyes. I do recommend using those glasses if you are mounting higher where your eye is more at that level. This particular laser module sits about 2 millimeters off the top. Now they do include this piece of acrylic, which is great for setting the laser height. We just slide it under the laser head, loosen this thumb screw, slide it down on top of this acrylic on top of your workpiece, tighten that thumb screw back up, and the focal point is set perfectly every time. So this particular laser module, the M40, has this large piece of UV resistant acrylic on the front there, which guards your eyes from the laser, while you can still see through to see the beam when setting that starting point of the laser machine. Another safety feature of this machine is it's got a gyroscope built into it. So if the machine gets tilted too much, like if it crashes or if it's falling off the table or somebody picks it up while it's running, it turns the laser off and ends the job. Now they do offer really two sources for software to run this machine: Laser Engraver, which is free, and Lightburn, which is a one-time fee of $60. And personally, Lightburn is definitely worth the 60 bucks they're charging. And if you do try Lightburn, I'll probably make some more tutorial videos about that pretty soon. Some of the things to be aware of in Lightburn is there is a laser fire button that you can use to have the laser fire at a very low power to help with aligning the laser head perfectly to your workpiece. Something else is there are multiple origins that you can use, whether it be the center of the workpiece, a certain point on your work area, and getting used to how those different origins function can be a little tricky, but once you get used to those, which origins you like using, it's pretty user intuitive. Now, one other neat feature you can do in Lightburn is create a jig for batching out products, where you just kind of drop your materials into a jig that's already cut out the shape of the stock you're using and engrave multiple items like that. That's really great for doing a whole batch of, like, say, dog tags or pencils or coasters, or really any item that you have purchased that you're going to engrave onto in a batch type process. So the way this M40 laser works is they've used multiple lenses inside to give it a wider range of focus. So rather than being focused at one specific point, it's got a nice range where it's focused within that. So that does give you a lot of forgiveness with setting that focal point. What that also does, it allows it to cut through materials quite easily. You can see over here on the side, we've cut through quite a few different things as examples. The cut edges come out really clean. The photo engraving that I've done have come out really crisp, and it's a great machine for someone just getting started with laser engraving, or someone that might need a smaller machine to fit maybe a smaller work area or a shelf. The only real drawback I found for this machine is that the work area is just so small. But there's a lot of applications where you don't need a giant laser machine to do engraving or to cut certain size projects. It can still batch out 8 coasters, 10, 15 pencils, like I mentioned, 20 or so dog tags in the smaller work area. So depending on what your plan is for this machine, this small work area might just work out better for you. I could build a hook for it and hang it up on the wall to get it out of the way when I'm not using it. It's also great for engraving onto larger items, like onto a large charcuterie board, or putting your logo on the back of a table you're building in a larger wood shop, where you don't need a giant laser engraver for something like that. So if you'd like to learn more about this machine, I've included some links in the pinned comment down below. And until next time, guys, check out this video next.